Hey everybody, and welcome back to Live Between Paychecks Kitchen. I'm us, Jackie Later, still Lake Jackson, so this is my little kitchen. And yeah, that's my dishwasher going. Number one thing, always have clean utensils, clean dishes. Don't let them pile up, that's how you get bugs or keep bugs, alright? Watch that shit. I get it, it's the most pain in the ass thing. As soon as you finish one, seems like there's more piled up. Gotta get them done. So this was gonna be great. This goes on my playlist of more stuff from the Chinese buffet down the road. Just gonna do it at your house under $10. It's gonna be great. Before we get into it, be sure to like, share, subscribe, do all the YouTube stuff. Click the little bell in that corner, get notification. We do these close to Tuesdays and Fridays. Also, there's a link down the doodly-doo for our merch, like my apron, and some other cool stuff. We're a small business. We very much appreciate it. Food. I will stop talking. Let's just do food. Alright, let's get into it and see if I can hurt myself while I'm making this. So, it's very simple. I'm going to use some rice. It's optional, man. I know a lot of people at the buffet don't use it, but it's a bit of a filler here. You're going to need peppers, green and red. Don't mind if they have a little bit of blemish on them. That's fine. It's kind of like me. And then a white onion. You're going to need one big one of each one of those. You're going to use some garlic cloves. The recipe calls for 2. I think I'm going to use like 5 or 6. You're going to need some thin beef here. Now, I got this for like $2 or $3 a piece. I got them for super cheap, but that's your big investment on this one. Sorry about the focus here, just going all nuts. So you're going to want a pound of that, okay? Then we're going to need all our seasoning stuff. A lot of this is optional. Again, it calls for soy sauce. I like to use ponzu instead, but soy sauce is what it calls for. Also, a little bit of the Worcestershire, the wiggity woo there, the Worcestershire sauce. You're going to need some cornstarch, just a couple of tablespoons of that. We're going to thicken that up at the end there. You're going to need some oil to cook in. It just calls for vegetable canola oil. You could use olive oil. That's fine too, just a little more expensive. It's up to you. You're going to need, again, red pepper, optional. You're going to need 3/4 cups of water, and then a 1/4 cup of either honey or brown sugar. I'm going to use brown sugar because, A, it pours a lot better and it looks better on screen. You're also going to need some ginger. I almost forgot this. And some optional toasted sesame seeds and some green onions. I don't have green onions, and I don't like to use them as decorations. So get you a nice sharp knife. Get your garlics nice and peeled here. I can show you on TikTok how to beat them to death with a jar and a lid. But just cut these down, mince them down as best you can, or you can just get the little jars of pre-minced stuff. That's fine. Get you something that you're going to soak this in. This is going to be the marinade part. So it doesn't have to be anything fancy as all this, but we're going to soak it for 2 to 24 hours here. So you want to put that 3/4 cup water in there, and then you want that 1/4 cup of your brown sugar there, right in there. That looks good. And then we're going to add just everything in here, right? Not everything. So yeah, you want your Worcestershire sauce is 1 tablespoon in there. Doesn't have to be perfect. And then your soy sauce or ponzu, you want 3 of those in there. It's going to be very heavy on those. Mine's a lighter brown because I think I use the ponzu instead of the soy sauce, but whatever your fermented fish sauce of choice is, go ahead and get it in there. And any beard hair, be sure to get that out. I think that was part of a mustache where I shaved it. Go ahead and put all of your garlic in there, minced as much as you can. Get your ginger out. You're going to put as much of a tablespoon of ginger in there. This is very gingery. Go ahead and put that in there as best you can. Get that, and then your red peppers, optional. You want to use about half a tablespoon of those. So just go ahead and get that in there. I use my my measuring spoon here to stir it, mostly just to get the residue out of the bottom. I don't want that to go to waste. So give it a decent stir. I'm leaving this in here just for the noise. I know it's going to annoy Jack, but go ahead and clean that spoon out there, get it stirred. Now your beef, make sure it's thawed. It's so much easier to work when it's thawed. Now you see where the strain of the lines are going on here? When you stretch it out, it's easier to see. So you want to cut against those, right? You don't want to cut them the same way the threads are going. So go ahead and just slice those down into little bite-sized pieces. Put it in the marinade. Make sure it's pushed down into the marinade, covered, and let it sit in the fridge. You want to put it in there. Like I said, covered. It doesn't have to be like have a professional cover, but you want it 2 to 24 hours. Another plate, man, just whatever will cover it, just so the rest of your fridge doesn't get in there. I'm gonna go ahead and start my rice here in the back, mostly just because I'm putting in 2 cups rice, 1 cup water, because I'm too white to know how to use the finger joint thing, and I don't trust my fingers. I know where they've been. So you're gonna go ahead and clean your peppers, and we're gonna skin our onion. You know what? I'm going to show you how to skin the onion here. Get you a nice sharp knife. Again, shout out to Andy. A couple of shout outs this time. He really helped me out this week. So go ahead and cut off the top and then the roots here. I try to get as close as possible. Sometimes it sticks together and they kind of fan out, so it's kind of hard. After that, go ahead and pull all this skin off the outside. This is really flaky, dry stuff because that stuff doesn't cook really well. Go ahead and get rid of that. Now, I don't want to cut this down to little bitty pieces. I want to use like long skinny pieces. Almost dropped a knife and cut off my fingers and or my foot. So I'm just going to cut it in half. lengthways, I guess is here. So instead of doing rounds and stuff, it's going to be long, skinny pieces, okay? Now, the trick of this is laying it face down where you just cut it, and then angling your knife as you cut. So you take it out here, just whoop, whoop. Yeah, see? Simple geometry. So you take it and you're cutting it that way, but you're rotating it just a little bit every time you move, and it gives you these long, skinny, fingery looking pieces here, right? So instead of the rings, you get those long pieces. That's what we're looking for. So go ahead and do that whole onion that way. Be careful with your fingers, especially on this back end here. You can just go ahead and lay it down and then continue that angle as it was coming, right? Super simple. I don't know why I spent so much time on the onion here. I just think it's neat. It's something I figured out myself. Now, peppers, you got them washed on the outside. We're going to go ahead and split them. You want to pull that pit out. Look at it scream. Go ahead and pull out that core and that some of the top and then all the veins and the seeds, okay? So you're going to do this for both the peppers, both the green and the red. But like I said, just go ahead and pull all those veins out. It's just they're really, yeah, do the same thing for the red. Get all the seeds out. But once you get those cut in half and everything's done, we're going to do the same thing. We're just going to split it long ways, get you some decent sized pieces of pepper to go with your onion and your steak. It's all going to be long, skinny pieces, right? So what all the dating sites say that everybody's looking for. Sorry, bit of my own bitterness falling into the recipe here. I apologize. So go ahead and slice both your green and red peppers there and set them to the side. So get you a decent skillet or a wok. It's up to you, man. Just it doesn't have to be specifically a wok. It just fits a lot more stuff. It's one of my biggest pans I got. Put it on medium high. So mine's in a 6 out of a 7. Put 2 tablespoons of your oil in there. Let it heat up. Once it starts heating, you test it with just a little piece of onion. You want it to bubble, not to spatter, not to pop and bubble or whatever. Go ahead and add your onions, both your bell peppers in there, and you're going to go ahead and stir fry those. That means stir it. You're going to do it for about 5 minutes. This is going to cook down. You don't want to, I don't like completely cooking them and completely whittle them down. I like a little bit of crust and stuff. A crisp, like a little crunch, I think, in my vegetables is what I was trying to say there before my tongue outran my face. So go ahead and get those stirred down in there. Like I said, just give it a nice stir. Don't want to just sit and cook on one side. So, sorry. Once you get all this in here, you get it nice and cooked. We're going to go ahead and take it out and we're going to put it on a plate, okay? Just wait, it doesn't overcook. We're going to cook everything separately and add it later. So once you get that on a plate, leave that oil in there and then go ahead and add your meat. Now keep the marinade. We're going to use that in a little bit. Remember I said that. So just go ahead and take the meat. Tongs is best. You can use a fork, whatever. Put it in there and again, put that meat on the metal as Jack and me would say. Go ahead and let it cook around in there and we're going to let it brown. We're going to cook that as much as we can, okay? Again, we're stir frying it, so not a lot of oil. So when the meat starts cooking, if it starts dripping a lot of oil, go ahead and drain it into a container. You'll get it rid of. And then once it starts getting these little brown spots on it, that's when you're getting there. Go ahead and take that, pull that out. You can put it right on the same plate as you pulled your vegetables out. Now we're going to go ahead and mix it. So once you got in there, sorry I didn't get all the garlic out. I'm just not that into it. Take that marinade we were talking about earlier and just put it right into that skillet. Now, we're going to let that come to a boil, but while it does that, we're going to add 2 tablespoons of our cornstarch. Just go ahead and put it in there and make sure to get it all out of the spoon. It tends to stick, and when you get it on the side of your wok or skillet, be sure to get that off later. Now, I'm going to whisk this in here. Now, it's got a non-stick stuff, so I got this rubber-coated whisk that I'm going to use. So be very careful, especially if you have that non-stick coating on there. That's something my father never learned. He scratched the non-stick coating off of every pan I've ever had. Oh, I'm watching Darkness Prevails, listening to him tell some scary or paranormal stories today while I'm doing it, in case anybody was asking. So go ahead and whisk that in. It's going to start getting thick. See that? Once it starts bubbling and it's boiling on the entire area, not just part of it, go ahead and add your beef and your vegetables back into this. Now, this is close to done, so give it a nice stir. Make sure everything's coated, okay? And then make sure it's all warm, because while you're waiting for it to boil, your meat and your vegetables might be cooling down, especially since the vegetables came out first. So go ahead and get them a nice stir, get it nice coated, and get them warmed back up. We don't have a steam tray at home, do we? Well, you might. I'm not that unfortunate. So go ahead and get that done. Turn the heat off. Serve it over some rice, and you're good to go. Bam! Now you can dress this with some sesame seeds on top, or some sliced green onions, which are really nice. I had my sesames, and I got a picture of it later, but it's really blurry, so I apologize. But this is super simple. It works for meal prep. This is one of our buffet ideas. I absolutely love this idea. So I got to go to the buffet and find out what I'm going to cook next. I want to either do the jalapeno chicken stuff, or that the coconut and shrimp stuff, where it's got like that milky coconut stuff in it. I really want to try that too. But this really works. It's great. Like I said, it works for meal prep. You can handle it up for it's not necessarily healthy. It's just something that holds up pretty well as long as you keep it sealed in the refrigerator. Yeah, you got to tell me if I'm doing this wrong, or if there's a way to do it better. I will revisit this and we can do it again, man. I am all over that. I really enjoy this idea, so you got to let me know if you try it. And there you have it, folks. A little more sauce than what I'm used to. Usually when I get there, either it's just piled up and there's not any sauce on the top, or it's just drowning in the bottom of it, and then they got to swap out the tray table. But this made a lot more sauce. That is very cool. If I did it wrong, or you want to say I should do it a different way, let me know. I will revisit this. Put it down in the comments. That's what they're there for. You can also find us on social media, Facebook, Pinterest, Patreon, all those, and Facebook as well. Living Between Paychecks Kitchen. Yeah, that's it. I forgot the script. I've been doing it for 5 years. You can also find us on Instagram. We're Living Between over there. We had to shorten it down. You can find me, Osway Nerdy, on all of those. Osway Nerdy or Admiral Oz, and including Twitter and on TikTok. Usually talking nerd stuff, miniature painting, comic book collecting, bunch of different stuff. So I will see y'all next time, and yes, that's the same load of dishes, because I might have filmed the intro and outro one right after the other, a day after I cook. But I don't want to ruin the magic for you. Don't look behind the curtain, man. It's Oz. Y'all be safe. I'll see y'all next time.